Alright, what's up y'all, it's LakerFan here. As I about to title today's video, here to ask, is the dunk meter overpowered in NBA 2K23? So, I saw in one of my comments of me on my 611 where I was doing this dunk meter stuff like crazy, and the dude was like, why do you always talk about everything in your videos like it should be patched or something like that? And to be honest with you, we're going to answer that question in today's video. Should this stuff even be patched in 2K23? So, we're starting this gameplay from late first quarter, early second quarter, but I want to showcase stuff like this where we're really just comparing and contrasting the whole dunk meter versus no dunk meter takes that you see in this game, and whether they would have ended up being a make with a dunk meter, obviously pending their timing, or whether it's a cancel out animation like this, or just to talk about the ones that I take and whether it's broken or not, that I can actually get dunk animations out of what actually happens when it's pretty contested traffic, man. So to answer the question of the video topic and give my opinion on it, I do think the dunk meter is overpowered. However, some people are really afraid of using this thing for some reason. And honestly, I think it's just the fear of failure, or the fact that some people don't really have a squad that they can do stuff like this in an uncomfortable setting, where if you do mess up your meter early on in the game, and I've been here before playing with randoms, whether it's me loading in with a pure like 4 of randoms or even 3 like a set of 3 randoms, whatever the case may be, if you miss your first dunk meter, you better believe you are getting your rights to the ball completely revoked. They are not going to give you that ball anymore. They don't want to see any of that BS where you're like going with super inefficient takes, because at the end of the day, if you're not good with this meter, it definitely is something that is going to sell your bag, and your team isn't really going to really like the lost possessions that you have, essentially. Anyway, we're here to show pretty much footage straight through. Not going to make too many cuts or anything. Obviously, we kicked out the whole first quarter, but it's just because it was a little bit slower, not really as great of a talking point, and I think this stuff is pretty important. So, stuff like this is definitely where I want to talk about the dunk meter. So, I'm already like doing this inbound stuff. I'm streaking up with Denton right here. I fake a little comeback and step up again. Then right here, I have the ball in my right hand, and I'm faking as if I'm going to be moving to my right, and I hit the behind the back over this way. As you can see, he goes for the reach right there. I get around him. Now, I did that all in anticipation of obviously meeting this guy at the hoop right here, and he is a late arriving defender. You can see he's moving the wrong way and stuff like that. If you don't step out here further to the dunk, you're not going to kick him out of the dunk. You cannot expect that this is a good defend to the dunk. I'm just putting it as simple as that. Whether you think this is overpowered or not, I'm telling you how to defend it is definitely not this right here, where some people think that them being a late arriving defender like this and just getting a hand up on your dunk is going to stop this thing. The whole point of dunk metering is to get an enhanced, like, ridiculous amount of power to your dunk. And in my personal opinion, I think the dunk meter, what it essentially does, it makes it so you get the good takeoff animations very consistently, you get poster dunks pretty often, and you will get morphed into your dunks more often. So think of it as literally just a finishing badge enhancer. And obviously for doing stuff like this, it's going to make your poster, slithery, and takeoff all activate at a better rate. And that's my true opinion on it. That's how I truly feel like this feels when you use it. And honestly, whether it's watching people play Pro-Am and stuff like that and use their X button and get ripped out of dunks, or just the late arriving help defender aspect of the game, I still stand by it that is truly the way that this game works. If you are going to the hoop late and you hold this X button like that, you're not going to get dunks very often. This is the type of stuff you have to meter. You're not ever a chance in this whole game gonna get a contact dunk in this type of traffic without the meter. If you go straight through this guy is gonna body you up. You're not even gonna get the opportunity to dunk on this guy, and this guy is not gonna give you the opportunity to dunk on him either if you just hold your X button. So stuff like this is things that the dunk meter morphs you into, and it's what demands defensive attention like this. It's unreal the power it has. Now, let's talk about that in the point of the video's title. Is that a good thing or a bad thing that it demands so much attention like this? And it can be overpowered, yes, I truly do believe. Whereas you still have things like this where people are just cutters. Obviously, there's not really an easy way to utilize a dunk meter and stuff like that, yet it still works super consistently, and it's not very hard either. And then we have maybe dunks like this, where, as you can see, my takeover runs out. We're playing against a little bit of a zone right here where they're just going to drop this big down super consistently. And as you can see, I don't really get put into a contact dunk, and who knows, maybe this dunk right here actually could be performed with X button or up on the right stick. Maybe I just get a quick drop right here, but as you can see, I got 2 collapsing defenders right here, yet at the end of the day, you could make a pass on this, and that's maybe where some people's dispute with this whole, like, just kind of system works, where they're mad that I'm not making the correct extra pass and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, man, I mean, this dunk meter is what it is, and I don't see a whole lot of people utilize it either. I don't know why. I don't know why people are so afraid of it. I don't know if they're just not good at it. I don't know if they just don't understand the mechanics, even though I've made videos on all types of things to do with tips on this, whether it's the activation of the dunk itself, the best dunks you could run, how to really utilize this stuff, the best takeovers, the best badges and stuff that'll all correlate with it, and just in general, how to attack the defense and all types of mental adjustments you could make as far as the gathers that you do instead as well, whether it's spin, euros, and hops, etc., etc. The best layup animation that transforms you into dunks. I've made videos on all this stuff, yet I never see someone come out here and do what I'm doing exactly, where I come out here and just dunk meter, dunk meter, dunk meter over and over and over again. And yes, this build has shooting on it, but I don't exactly utilize that to its best ability either. I'm still working on the shooting aspect of the game, but this is the type of defensive attention that someone like this is going to draw, where you're going to be able to just hit the crossover, boom, we got someone swinging over to the wing. Now, when I hit the snatch back, you got the center dropping down as if he thought I was going to dunk it. We got this guy resuming back to me, and now we got Denton wide open. This is the type of stuff where it will obviously open you up in that aspect as well, especially if the build has shooting. If the build doesn't have shooting, it's likely they're just going to keep the center down in the paint, and you're going to have to be really, really freaking good with the dunk meter stuff, because that's the times where you're just going to have to meet that center in the paint and just absolutely just dunk meter all over him, like, period. And honestly, as far as stuff like that goes, let's say I was on a non-shooting build. This guy right here needs to make sure that he is meeting me around this dotted line on the free throw circle. You have to make sure you are not meeting people in the paint. That's how people get good dunk animations on you. You can't just expect that's going to be the way it works. Now, also, as mentioned, people could even do stuff like this, and this is what I've dealt with the most in Pro-Am, where I'm getting a little impatient with this stuff. I should probably just wait a little bit longer, but obviously the downhill dribble moves are kind of my MO. It's what I'm really good with as well, but it's going to be stuff like this, where they just kind of pinch off the wings and I gotta make reads, whether it was going to be to make the read right here, maybe this guy, after I stop, maybe they send the pinch from the right in front of this right corner. Now this guy swings over and this guy swings back to the corner. Now I still got a center in the paint on me. It's stuff like that where obviously in the 5-out, whether it's the 2-3 style of defense or just pinching in general, it's something I have to deal with, and it makes it definitely harder for me to do stuff like that. And that's why I don't understand why people play 5-out defense, where it's a late arriving help defender like rotating off the corner. I think that's a horrible way of playing defense. I think the best way to play defense is to shrink the floor and just pinch off the wings and make it so they can't get to the hoop, because getting to the hoop is the easiest part about this stuff when they just keep a center down on me and expect that he's going to be able to just meet me at the hoop. Stuff like this, where they pinch off both wings and just collapse the defense on me like this, makes it extremely hard. Where do I go with this ball right now? Besides maybe to a wing that they're just going to eventually contest anyway. Now the ball's not in my hands. So there's not a whole lot of answer to stuff like this, and it's very blitzable too. I'm so bumpable in that moment. Now there is a small guard, Andre, right here. We can absolutely go to that, but as you can see, I hit a little Westbrook. Now I'm breaking down the defense, but now you're probably thinking, oh, Laker hit the corner. But what happens when this guy rotates to the corner, this guy swings back out to the wing, and this guy is now either chasing my mid-range or baiting the shot on the left, or on the right here. The quick answer is, if you're just good with the dunk meter, you maybe bypass all of the baiting and ghost contesting and all types of BS stuff like that you would normally deal with in a 5-out. You don't have to make the perfect read, you don't have to always make a pass, but as you can see, they arrived at center down to me early because I had to take off in the mid-range, and it makes it more obvious that I'm taking off and trying to get that dunk. So that's that. Right here you can see we get the little mid-range right here, and I know some people may even like ask off yesterday's video why I'm running the shot meter. I honestly am not that great at shooting without the meter, I've come to realize. Like, I just am so good with the dunk meter timing, and I think it translates and correlates really well to the jump shots, and you can really feel it. Like, using the comet meter paired with just in general understanding the cue on the meter, when to let it go, because I use the dunk meter so often, I think it truly does help me shoot. And whether people, you know, will make fun of me or criticize me for it, that's fine. I don't really care at the end of the day. This is something where I believe it helps me shoot the best, so I'm just gonna do it. So, into the next possession. You're gonna see the same style of defense where they're pinching off the wings. If I pass assault, yeah, sure, it works like that. It's just hard, bro, because sometimes this guy could release and then boom, I've now thrown the ball and I don't really have an easy way of like returning back to it. I'm not a great spot up either, so if I spot up from the middle, what's the difference? Salt's now on the wing now and I am on the top, and they're just gonna pinch him from the middle, force him to pass the ball to me. It's how everybody plays 2-3 defense in this game, and it's so annoying, and thinking that you're gonna sit here and just move the ball by passing it everywhere isn't always the answer. But finesse finishing like this is extremely hard. I mean, especially in this stupid take that I take right here. This is not a good one. I try and hit the Euro right there on him to move to his right. Fortunately though, he tries jumping at me and I get the offense rebound with it with 25 O board. So I'm able to get the ball back, dot up Salt on the wing, and that's that. But Again, it is tough sometimes to go with the hop dunks, the spin dunks, the euros and stuff like that, and expect that it's just going to get you the takes when you can't go at it with the same aggression as it would be a contact dunk off the dunk meter, where those just kind of trigger, and it happens, obviously. On that note as well, you also have stuff like this, where he's maybe out on the fast break, and then Salt has a good shot at a fast break chase down right here. But this is the other thing I want to talk about with the dunk meter. You do not get as many shooting fouls. You don't get as many like fouls on obviously the dunk takes that you go for, because this right here is a horrible take if you ask me. As far as like, it's not reliable. It's going to be something that, as you can see, he got a really bad catch on. Salt is right here to block this stuff. He's on it perfectly. But it's the life of using your X button in this game. You get more fouls, period. I've seen it so many times over and over again, and people just go to the paint, and it'll even be worse takes like this. It'll be someone that's sitting right down in the middle of a defense, in the middle of a 2-3. He's in perfect position. You go sprinting right at him and hold your X button, and you just get fouled probably 40 to 50% of the time you do it, depending on the person's interior defense. It's ridiculous. Whereas the dunk meter, it really comes down to, can you make it or will you miss it? It's nothing in between. You rarely get fouled, and it's always going to be literally just on you to decide to do the dunk meter and whether it goes in or misses. There's not many fouls that happen on it. All right, next defensive possession that you're going to see from them. Look at this stuff. I mean, it's the constant 2-3 pinch, right? So now I'm sitting here like, oh, maybe I'll pass it to Salt, but as you can see, he'd be baiting the lane right there. He would have been right in there, in the front and corner. If I call out a cut, he's going to take it, and then they're going to send it right to the left. I mean, it's the sweaty 2-3 zone defense stuff where I'm waiting it out. I'm trying to make my reads and stuff like that. You can see I hit a little attack on the Westbrook. Now the pass would be here, you would think, right? But now he's back. Boom, there you go. I just got baited. It's exactly what I'm talking about. If I send the cut, they got the center to rotate down. It's always going to be him in the paint. Doesn't matter if the small guard gets cut on, because this guy's here for it every time, and they'll swing that way. If I tell Spill to cut and I dot this side, it's possible that I just get baited over there and I throw another interception. So it's all types of stuff where if you don't use your dunk meter, it's so tough because you have to make reads and stuff like that. And then I'm cutting off ball right into the big man. It's a horrible play to be made, but honestly, it's hard running 5-out offense if you're just going to sit here and get pinched everywhere. And it's not easy to just create 3-point shots out of it either. You can maybe look to the mid-range. I will give that some credit because obviously I didn't do it to its greatest ability. My mid-range is now 69, but earlier in my builds like phase, it's more around like 50-ish or 40-ish, something like that. But anyway, as you can see, 10 for 14, 20 points at half, 48 on the offense from our team, even though it looks like we're playing against a sweaty 2-3 zone defense, and it's the same 3-point attempts as well amongst the team. It's just obviously more of mine are coming from Denton on our wing or Salt on our wing as well, and I'm able to just kind of dot that stuff up. At the end of the day, 4 assists to 1 TO. It's not exactly great production. You can see my lockdown even has more assists than me, so that's obviously something that's, being mentioned here. But like I said, it's hard to move the ball in these situations sometimes. Now, you're going to see, as this game develops, I just get tired of trying to dot stuff. And I know some of you guys are going to hate it. You're going to see me absolutely just shooting through double teams, dunking through double teams, moving through passes that I should have made and stuff like that as well. But honestly, I just got tired of trying to make reads. Now, you can see there right there, however, really good pass to Salt on the opposite wing, able to just kind of dot the fact that the defense is sending more pressure toward me and away from our wings, and that's the type of passes that you may have to make in this 5-out offense as well. But like I said, moving forward, you're going to see maybe through like the good majority of this third quarter right here in the early part, me really get frustrated with the amount of extra passes I'd have to make or call outs to the teammates and stuff like that. At the end of the day, when it comes to Comp Pro-Am, I'll be extremely vocal with explaining to my teammates when I want them to cut, where I want them to go, stuff like that, running plays, calling plays, etc., etc. But honestly, in the rec stuff, when we're playing hours on end over and over and over, and I'm not trying to do all that, to be real with you, it's gonna be a whole lot more of me just trying this dunk meter stuff and getting through the traffic. Dre tracks this ball down right here. You're gonna see I'm trying to move around on the wing, but he dots the corner on the other end. Now look at this, man. This is so tough because it's 4 people on Spill, our lockdown of all people. But then it's like, okay, they take away the early easy pass and you'd have to make a skip pass, but then what happens when someone just runs there inevitably, because ghost contests are super good in this game and jump contests are good in this game too. So when you make passes in anticipation that it's going to be able to get shot off of, it's not always the truth, man. There's so much rotation in this game that can be played because of big bodies all around the court, especially these rec teams who they come in with like 5 capable defenders, no small guard anywhere to ruin their rotations or anything like that. It's 5 super capable defenders and their offense is just super ugly and it's horrible. But that's the life of this 2K23 stuff. Defense is really good, and when it's in a 5v5 court as well, it makes it even harder. All right, so this possession right here is probably our biggest example of the dunk meter being a bailout to maybe having to make reads on offense. But it's the truth. It's the way they're playing defense, and it's really like how I punish defenders for doing stuff like this. So you can see once again, I mean, it's constant wing pressure, like all the way off the top. I'm waiting for spill to come up. You can see I get that little stutter step right there. Now I hit the crossover to try and split between this. If I get blitzed even harder on this, I gotta make a really sudden pass, because as you can see, he ends up kind of hooking onto my body right there. I could pass to Salt, but again, I'm getting baited everywhere. And this, once again though, I'm not trying to justify it as a good read for me, because I definitely should make this pass right here. But this is the bailout of the dunk meter. It's me hitting a crossover right here, going into traffic of 4 people, and just getting a dunk on 2 of them. I don't know why they did this though. I don't know why they ended up leaving the corner. This is the type of inexplicable BS that I can't explain out of rec players. It's just 2 guys running from one corner to the other. Like, I see an open side of the court right here. They think to both go. Now it's this dot instead, but then like someone might swing to it anyway. At the end of the day, screw it all, bro. It's rec center. I don't care. I'm here to dunk meter, and if it works like this, I'm taking it. So that's what I'm talking about in today's video. Is it overpowered? I think so. Is it overused? I think not. I think there are so many people that sit here and just go with their X button takes, and they make stupid stuff like this, and it's just the life of interior defense. Whether it's the dunk meter or not, it's still stupid stuff like that going in sometimes, or maybe it's some stupid, like, you know, X button dunk that's getting held all the way down to the paint, and it just works. I don't know if this really blends into our video or not, but as you see, I get the ball on the post up and I go with this hook. It's also a pretty good timing, and this is one thing I will mention too. While this ended up being a slightly, these hooks snap green so much easier. Same with the jump shots, they snap green so much easier. You'll even see free throws for that matter, if I ever get on the line with it in today's video, that it just snaps green so much easier. This one, however, like I said, it just ends up slightlying and I miss it. It's probably the 9% contest or the fact that I wasn't running pro touch in this part of the game. But I just want to say, for those who maybe critique the dunk meter and the fact that slightlys and even lates and early sometimes go in, I just want to kind of justify it in this way of explaining that it doesn't snap green the way jump shots or any other shot timing in this game for that matter does. It's really like a thing of the past. It's stuck in the past where dunk timing is how it was back then, where like slightlys go in. Yes, we all know that. But obviously the timing that I do on my shot meter could even be worse than a slightly that I get on a dunk meter, yet it turns green because the jump shots just snap green in this game. If you turn your meter on, you will understand exactly what I'm talking about in this game. You can even visually see it. You can see it on the free throws as well. There will be a huge black bar in the jump shot or free throw meter, yet it still greens for me. However, when it comes to the dunk meter, it only snaps green if I get it perfectly at the top, 100%, and nothing in between. Right here, once again, going with the dunk meter, get this right on that dude's head. That is one other thing with the dunk meter too. You have to adjust to contact and open dunk timing. So this one right here is more of like a me getting past the double team on the top. He ends up rotating over to the wing right here, and the guard obviously has to stay at home. Shout out to the guard for even getting in this dunk in the first place, because this is actually another thing to mention. I hate that I'm getting so like deep into it, but honestly, let me explain this to you guys too. The amount of people maybe needs to be factored into next year's game as far as the dunk meter stuff goes, because I think 2 bodies on you should probably kick you out of dunks more often. But in this game, what ends up happening is if I hook this point guard into a dunk meter and he's the one that gets contact dunked on, this guy's defense over here does not matter unless he ends up getting a block on it. Now, I believe he was the one that got contact dunked on. I'm not positive though. I can't really tell because he jumps out of the animation if it was him, and then he kind of gets aggressively dunked on too. So it's possible that I just dunked on the center, period. Simple as that. But again, he's not really meeting me at the perimeter really well. He just is a late arriving defender. He's just trying to sit here and bang out in the paint with me when it doesn't exactly work like that. You can see we kind of get him moving away from me in that moment, and now he's like trying to arrive in the paint, but again, he's sitting here jumping from inside the circle. This is how the dunk meter works. You just will bang on people who are jumping from inside the circle, and it doesn't really work like that as a defender. All right, so now you guys want to see something really sad. I promise you I'm getting like really good with this shot meter timing on the jumpers, but right here you can see they go like pure zone. They put a point guard on me for some reason and then go with 2 bigs and like they're putting all 4 of their off balls on defense, and they're letting this guy be the traffic cone that I have to run around essentially. So I end up hitting a snatchback off this, looking for the shot, and as you can see, I end up waiting out this defensive rotation and shoot it right here. But unfortunately, I shoot a mad late on this and end up missing it. So honestly, yes, I can sit here and critique like jump shot timing and stuff like that all day and act like it's easier. But obviously, when I go 0 for 2 in this game, inevitably, and I'm getting a lot of contested dunk meters, you will maybe sit here and ask, well, Laker, how are you going to sit here and say that jump shot timing is so easy, yet dunk meter timing is so hard? It's not that I'm saying that. I will say too, this is exactly what I'm talking about as well in the aspect of talking about it being overpowered. it's stuff like this. I don't really even have to time it perfectly. I just get past the guy, go for the dunk, and as you see, it bounces back almost all the way out of this green window right here. And the green window is also really big off the fact that I have easy blow-bys. The dunk meter in general with easy blow-bys on is ridiculous in that aspect. And again, I don't even time it that well, and it still goes in. So that's why I am saying, to a sense in this video, yes, I do think the dunk meter is pretty overpowered in a sense. So anyway, I get pinched like crazy for the whole majority of that third quarter right there, and you can see I'm just gonna kind of say, all right, bro, forget it. I'm just going straight in, going dunk meter, and I'm just gonna bang on this dude's head. And again, they put a point guard on me toward the end. I don't exactly know why. It's pretty troll, but regardless, that's about as much as I care to show for this video. But I will show the stats that I get for the fourth quarter. I did end up scoring, I believe, 15 points in the fourth quarter right here, but honestly, I don't think a lot of them are worth showing. We can kind of fast forward through and just look at the points that I did dunk on. Now this right here, this is the thing I'm talking about, right? So I got the point guard on me. I'm going for a contact dunk on the point guard. He's in kind of good position, so you can see the meter size is like ridiculously small. It's going to be really hard to hit, and this is why I talk about it doesn't even matter what your ratings are or anything like that. To be fair, if this was a center that was guarding me right here, like a 7-footer or this guy just in general period, if he was one standing right here, I'd get kicked out of this dunk 100%. I mean, like, it's just good positioning. It's just the guy being in the right spot. It's the fact that I jumped. I don't even get a contact dunk. It's literally just an open dunk that I didn't even time perfectly. It was just an early, and it still goes. So again, I am sitting here justifying for the fact that I do think the dunk meter is overpowered in a sense, and it's pretty easy to use to me at this point as well. But it may be because of my repetition, it may be because of the fact that I just use it super consistently, and maybe it's harder for others who are a little bit more new to it. Same way jump shot timing is a little bit tougher for me because I'm new to it and not super experienced. Same with like catch and shooting. I don't understand the mechanics of it, and you can still see people will pop out with a meter as well sometimes off the corner and do this Clyde, like in that example, the Clyde Drexler one. In our last little clip of the video, I'm going to showcase this offensive possession, and then we'll call it good for the vid. But again, this is one of my better games that I have as far as the dunk meter efficiency, so just take this with a grain of salt because I don't always have like perfect games like this or anything like that, or like super crazy games like this. But anyway, again, 2-3 pinch. They got this guard in here though, so I get through this little like pinch right here, but now I'm still getting like triple team, quadruple team, almost quintuple teamed to a sense. But again, now you can see like it's all bait. It's all just fake BS right here. Like nobody's actually open. So anyway, now I'm like, all right, bro, screw a read. I'm going in. Point guard gets looped into the contact dunk, so anybody else doesn't matter now, like I just said. And as you can see, contact dunk to PG. Any late arriving help defender doesn't matter. Maybe the level of anchor, yes, could kick me out of a dunk if maybe like 2 anchors on Hall of Fame were dropping off the corners and they just jump, and maybe the power of anchor just knocks me out of the dunk, or I just miss it more unreasonably. But stuff like this, it bangs. I mean, and as you can see, even the center for that matter, he didn't even do anything but contribute to the fact that he just fouls me. So I did say you don't get fouled on dunk meters very often. I meant to say you don't get kicked out of them and just fouled on some BS like you would an X button dunk or something like that. But again, this is the stuff I'm talking about. You loop one guy into the contact dunk meter, the late arriving help defenders don't really matter that much, and boom, you just absolutely bang on this stuff. Now, let me talk about that real quick though. The fact that I had to time this perfectly to green it, you're gonna see that free throw right here has quite a bit of black bar still in it. This is absolutely a green. It can even be like, I'm talking like ridiculously mistimed free throws on this 89 free throw rating I have. I could have released it right there and it'd still be green. I promise you that. I'm sitting here looking at it and I watched it throughout these games and stuff like that. It's crazy how much more this snaps. And for the jump shots, it can still be really the exact same rate that I just put it right there. It will still snap green. That is not the case for dunk meters. You have to be absolutely in the perfect spot with it, and even then, it still doesn't green as often. Speaking of which, shout out to Spillboy that I'm playing with at the 2K Labs right here. They actually ran a test on this, and even wide open dunk meters with 99 dunk rating only snapped green 20% of the time on perfect timing. Like, we're talking actual perfect time. So that's something to talk about as well, is just the fact that it doesn't snap green. Yet realistically, people will judge you for maybe making whites and stuff like that on dunks, when really if they had their jump shot timing on, they would see that the timing on this stuff is not that significantly different from maybe me making a white on a dunk or something like that. But obviously it's just because the game doesn't call it a green on my dunk. Whereas again, here we're actually going to showcase this. Check out this free throw timing. This is bad, if you ask me. This is bad timing. Like, if I time this on a dunk right here, and this is the visual I got on a dunk, I'm probably getting an early or a late. But guess what it is on a free throw with takeover on and stuff like that too, with 89 free throw. Green. And I've seen worse. I've seen even worse timings on it and stuff like that. So that's my take on stuff like this. I don't even know what a 99, because to be fair, I'm on 99 dunk for that matter as well in this video and on this build. But I wonder what a 99 3-pointer with meter on looks like, or like what a 99 3-pointer with sharp take and you know, meter on looks like. So that's my take on it. I just really wish people would at least know what they're talking about when they make, you know, arguments and stuff like that based on whether the meter is like actually skill based or not, whether it's people making whites with the meter when they don't really understand that it doesn't snap green like that anyway, whether it's just how overpowered it is or not, because I think I have plenty of room to talk about stuff like this. And yes, my final verdict on it is I think it's overpowered. I think in the right hands it's ridiculously broken, like my hands for instance, and I think honestly overall people don't use this enough. But that's the truth. Is it really that overpowered if the whole community isn't using it? Why do people go to the hoop and hold their X button if they're not good with it too? I mean, obviously there's a reason people don't use the meter. But anyway, we end this game 21 for 28 total. In totality, 21 for 26 on my dunks, or you know, non 3-point attempts and stuff like that. So that's just how the flow of the game went with that. And as you can see, I only end the game with 6 assists, had 3 turnovers. The other team's point guard was 9 points and 12 assists to 6 TOs. I mean, you can consider this moving the ball well, but at the end of the day, it's still 6 turnovers, and they still didn't produce on offense. And if the whole offense is running through him, and that's the most they like resulted off of, I still don't think that's like a ridiculous production. But I know some people will glaze the assists and stuff like that. They'll sit here and act like 45 and 6 is worse than 9 and 12 from a PG, and you know, act like the turnovers don't matter either, and act like just hitting threes versus me not hitting threes is such a game-breaking difference as well. I mean, you're looking at someone that in the Hoff League was number 3 in assists as well. So just understand, just because I'm not passing in rec doesn't mean I don't pass in Pro-Am either. It's just I don't like turning my brain on that hard. I'd rather stick to the mechanics and, you know, just try and make the tough shots that I'm used to, and even for that matter, get better at it. That's how I am getting better progressively throughout the whole course of the year, is testing the limits of it and doing stuff like that in today's gameplay and understanding what my 99 dunk build can even do. It's still new to me. I didn't really know what it's capable of, and with slash take on and, you know, obviously a 2-3 and stuff like that, I'm trying to see if I can bang on the center down low if he's a late arriving defender. And my verdict is yes, I think I can, for that matter. So anyway, it's stuff that like that. You're only gonna get better at the game if you learn how to, and the only way to get better is to fail, or at least put yourself out there in a potential to fail. Simple as that. But anyway, that is off video. I hope you all enjoyed. If you did, drop a like, sub if you're new, turn on noties, all good stuff. And like always, try to win 2,000 likes. If you made it to the end of the video, put dunk or put meter in the comments. Show support me all the way through. And again, you can feel free to leave your feedback on this stuff. I'm not gonna be mad if you guys sit here and tell me, yeah, the meter's easier than I thought it was gonna be, because that's my verdict on it too. I can hardly time a jump shot meter very well. I'm really gassing that up a tad bit, because I'm actually getting really good and better in general with this shot meter timing on. But I'm not even as good at shooting the ball with the meter on as I am dunking with the meter, and yet I still barely see anybody do it. And I don't know why, because I think it's still very doable and actually a lot easier than some people would give it credit for. But anyway, like I said, feel free to leave your feedback. Let me know if you use it, if you don't use it, if you're afraid of it, if you don't use it because of your internet or something like that. But I don't really understand that verdict, because then those same people try and shoot the ball with their X button and stuff like that too. Some people don't like the visuals on the meter. They act like they would rather just dunk it with no meter on, stuff like that. I don't know. Just feel free to leave your feedback and tell me which one of those people you are in the comments. But anyway, that's all for video. Hope you all enjoyed. And that, take these, man. Peace.